Welcome to Kambani Zambia TV, your home for fearless investigative journalism, bold analysis, and untold stories from Africa and around the world. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, tap the like, and share this video to spread the truth far and wide. We dig deeper, ask the hard questions, and uncover what others won't. This is more than news. It's journalism that holds power to account. Let's get started. Disclaimer. The content in this video is based on publicly available reports, statements, and allegations. These claims remain unverified, and we do not endorse or confirm their accuracy. This video is intended for informational and discussion purposes only. In early 2026, Zambia appeared in global financial headlines for a reason few would have predicted. According to Bloomberg, the Zambian Kwacha emerged as the world's best-performing currency, not best in Africa, not best among developing markets, best in the world. Listen to this.
The world's best performer, a title that leaves no room for questions. For Zambia, their currency has just captured that title. The Kwacha is experiencing a surge in early 2026 that comes after a year-end rally. Zambia's currency has gained almost 10% against the dollar since the start of last month. On Monday alone, it jumped nearly 4% before reaching a fresh two-year high on Tuesday. Here's why. Firstly, copper prices are surging. 3-month copper futures jumped around 5% on Tuesday, and Zambia is the second largest copper producer in Africa. Secondly, sellers have rushed to offload dollars triggered by a new central bank directive on December the 26th. Organizations have also been aggressively converting foreign currency into Kwacha for settling tax and for funding New Year operations. But the final and potentially most significant step is what experts are calling the historic introduction of Yuan denominated mining tax payments. The Zambian bank confirmed that since October, the Chinese yuan has been accepted as currency for mining taxes. Zambia became the first African nation to do so, and there are expected to be major economic benefits. For context, China is Zambia's largest copper buyer, while Beijing is also one of the African nation's biggest creditors. Zambia receives taxes from Chinese companies operating mines in the country, and if these funds are paid in yuan, then when Zambia goes to pay back loans to China for development projects, it doesn't need to pay for currency exchange. Those fees were unavoidable when payments were made in dollars. So you can see how this all stems around a step away from the dollar, and this is music to China's ears.
That fact alone demands more than celebration or skepticism. It demands understanding, because currencies do not strengthen by accident. They reflect policy choices, economic discipline, and confidence in public institutions. Tonight, we examine what is behind the Kwacha surge, what is proven, what is driving it, and what this moment truly represents for Zambia's economic trajectory. One clear driver was policy. Zambian authorities reinforced long-standing legal requirements that domestic transactions must be settled in Kwacha, sharply curbing routine use of foreign currencies inside the country. For years, many everyday transactions, rent, contracts, services, were priced in US dollars, even though incomes were earned in Kwacha. This created persistent dollar demand and weakened the local currency. The new enforcement changed behavior. Companies holding dollars for local use were compelled to sell them. Dollar supply increased. Demand fell. This is not sentiment, it is basic economics. When foreign currency demand drops and supply rises, the local currency strengthens. That is exactly what markets reflected. Policy alone, however, rarely acts in isolation. Zambia's currency strength was reinforced by rising global copper prices. As Africa's second-largest copper producer, higher copper prices translate into stronger export earnings and increased foreign inflows. This combination, policy discipline at home and favorable commodity prices abroad, created a supportive environment for the Kwacha to rally. In short, policy provided the trigger, copper prices amplified the impact. Some coverage has highlighted Zambia's acceptance of yuan-denominated mining tax payments, particularly from Chinese companies. This matters, but it must be understood correctly. Accepting yuan reduces currency conversion costs when Zambia services Chinese loans. It improves transaction efficiency. It does not replace the dollar overnight, nor does it signal a wholesale shift in reserves. This is selective de-dollarisation, not ideological alignment. Understanding that distinction is critical. So how does this affect daily life? A stronger kwacha reduces pressure on import prices: fuel, cooking oil, machinery, spare parts. This does not mean prices suddenly fall, but it can slow inflation, which matters in a high cost of living environment. There is also a confidence effect. Currency stability signals coordination, discipline, and reduced uncertainty, factors investors watch closely. But caution is essential. A strong currency does not equal prosperity. If it becomes too strong, exports can suffer and competitiveness can weaken. The goal is not spectacle. The goal is balance and stability. The kwacha's performance tells us what is possible, not what is guaranteed. It signals that policy choices matter, that discipline can change outcomes, that Zambia's economic story is not fixed. Whether this moment becomes a foundation or a footnote will depend on what comes next. If you believe economic policy should be understood, not just celebrated or dismissed, like this video so this analysis reaches a wider public. Use the comments to engage responsibly. Share your perspective, question the assumptions, and add context. Because accountability depends on informed discussion, not slogans. And if you value content that examines governance, law, and public interest with evidence and restraint, subscribe to this channel. This platform exists to slow the conversation down, to separate signals from noise, and to hold ideas, not personalities, to scrutiny. Because progress is not built on headlines. It is built on understanding, consistency, and public accountability.